Hello everybody, welcome back to Bish's RV with another new entry here from Brinkley. If I boil this down very simply, if you've seen the 3950, this is the 3950 Model G with a second bathroom, but it's more than just that. I've seen 2-bathroom fifth wheel toy haulers before. I've never seen one where the second bath has been executed quite to this level. First of all, one of the things that I love is usually a second bathroom in a garage is under a loft. And that means that a guy like me can't stand in it. So it's basically, it's a tight, small bathroom with a shower that doesn't really function for somebody of any stature. But that's not what they did here. The funny thing about a lot of lofts, especially in a wide body rig like this, is that the mattresses that go up there are not as long as the loft. So all they did was slide the mattress over, and then the section where there's not a mattress is a full floor-to-ceiling shower. It's the taller of the two showers in the RV, and that's what's awesome about this. This is really a model where if you're going to potentially have an alternative use on this, like they found that 60% of Model G buyers are not using it as a traditional toy hauler. They're using it as things like an office, a laundry room, a bunkhouse, a Three Seasons patio, or maybe literally a mother-in-law, father-in-law suite. Maybe you have a child with special needs that needs their own private calming accommodations. This is an RV that can do that. And if somebody needs to use the bathroom at night, nobody has to walk clear across a very long RV to trek to the bathroom, go up and down stairs, disrupt everybody. Everything is local. Everything is close to you. Or if you've just been outside on the patio, you just need to wash your hands real quick. Perfect little spot to be able to do that. Now, today we're getting a look at a couple new updates, including a taillight safety thing that I'm very excited about. We're getting my first full look on video of the quad recliner sofa option that you have in here, which I think would be my personal nerd preferred little preference. And as we go, continue to provide that feedback, because more than once, the info that you've left on videos like this has literally caused them to build or tweak new models or existing models. So let's keep it going. And if you appreciate how we give you that voice and show you the stuff, hit that subscribe button. Let's roll. All right, so grab the bucket of popcorn. The only problem with Model Gs with what I do is just that there's so much to cover. They take so much time. If I'm going to do this right and really show you everything, it's going to take a little bit. Although one of the first things I wanted to hit on, whether it's the 3950 or this 3970, you now have the option, instead of the Power U Lounge, which has its own cool benefits. Check out my 3950 video if you're curious. You now have this new quad recliner feature. This really would be I think the way that I would go. This would be my nerd preferred preference right here. But let's be real. You know, if we want to really kind of snipe it and nitpick it, can you open all 4 recliners at once? No, but I don't care. I don't care. I think for the most part, this is probably going to be used by 2 people. If you have a guest, if you want to stretch out, if you want to lounge, if you want to spread out, you don't want to be right on top of one another. It satisfies all of those purposes. I think it does what it needs to do. Now, a Model G, as compared to a Model Z, is wide body and it's full profile, meaning it's got the maximum ceiling height it really can before the air conditioners get ripped off by a bridge. And it doesn't really taper down. It's just really tall all the way through. Part of that's because you got the garage in the back. You can't really taper it down back there and have room for the power beds above. So that's going to be one of your major differentiating factors there. This one, I like models like this because it gives you a clarity and definition between kitchen and living room, but you really don't feel like you have sacrificed in either respect too awful much. They're a little different in some respects as compared to like a conventional triple slide rear lounge. But when I'm going to make a second pass back through everything here. The total storage that you get in this is pretty fantastic. Let's talk about this refrigerator for a little bit. I think I inadvertently caused some of the problems and concerns on this because I wasn't properly educated on the fridge that they chose to use here when I did my first Model G 3500 video. It's a residential fridge. It's not 12 volt. And by default, that feels like it's less power efficient. But the funny thing is, this is an Energy Star rated fridge, whereas most 12 volt fridges in the RV industry are not. Now, they've done things like standardized 800 watts of solar. This RV has a 3,000 watt pure sine inverter factory standard, a couple lithium batteries, a DC to DC charger, so that your vehicle helps provide more power. You can absolutely go cross country, driving like crazy all day, every day in this thing, and that fridge will stay powered up. So there's no concerns about that. Now, if you're going to be off grid for a long time, you're going to be running that generator a little bit, but that's what it's made for, you know. Now over here, I'm a big fan of this. I love this Dynesk, and when it's in this arrangement, the sliding portion of the extension table, it almost looks like it creates a little three-dimensional geometrical boxy cube thing down there. And what I like about that is I look at that and I'm like, that would be the perfect place for my little dog bed down there. I could have my little four-legged furry guy down there. Except the problem is, you know, when you grow up, you want a dog. And I'm a person that ended up developing anxiety. And then I got a dog with anxiety. You know what I mean? Now, the window coverage here is absolutely phenomenal. And these are actually some of the Brinkley staff members cruising around the display. I'll make sure they get a chance to get back in here in a second. They kind of like to see their handiwork. And it sounds funny. People who maybe aren't from around this neck of the woods, you're like, what do you mean these people build the RVs and then they want to go look at them? They don't usually get to see the final product. You may have noticed the fireplace turned off. I noticed it was kind of blinking on screen. I know it gives some folks a migraine or sometimes, you know, something worse. But also, I figured what a perfect opportunity to kind of display some of the storage here. Now, I like to be fair. It might be a symptom of that new L sofa. It kind of blocks that left-hand door a bit. I don't know that this is primary storage we got to worry a whole heck of a lot about. Also, notice the location of like your converter fuse box down there. But it's really cool that they use this space. They don't let it go to waste. But like when it's closed up, it just looks decorative. It's just totally hidden away. By the way, there is a full privacy shade for the entry door. I forgot to pull that. Now, to help you understand, any of the shades that we're looking at that are night shades only, so the left window, the top window, those don't specifically open for airflow. The bottom window there that has day and night shades, that one does open for airflow. So you have a couple different options and possibilities there. Now you might have noticed, speaking of options and possibilities, perfect segue. I literally couldn't have done it if I tried. The only way it worked is because I didn't try. It just happened organically. The table, you might have noticed, it can slide around. So if you want more of just a traditional dining arrangement, it's totally available. You may have also noticed that the table extended a leaf. But this can also flip around, if you wanted to like a double desk that is multi-monitor capable, which is kind of crazy and kind of cool. Now, obviously that table I have fully extended. When you do that, it's sort of in the way. But with the L sofa as compared to the U lounge, the U couch that's standard in this is actually longer. And you literally cannot walk through here if the table's fully extended. Now, the way that it looks, yeah, it's a little tight, but you could still get through there. And nothing says you have to leave the table fully extended like that. So it's all just a matter of what you want to do and how you want to do it. And I tell you, you're going to need a step stool and one of those reacher grabber things that my grandmother would use to get boxes of mac and cheese off the top shelf of the grocery store to get to the back of that upper storage, but they didn't waste it. They 100% maximized every little nook and cranny of space they possibly could. And that includes the double pantry next to the fridge that goes from floor to slide ceiling. Notice how all of that shelving is adjustable and or removable. But what's cool is the two slide open pantries, which do lock shut, by the way. They're not identical. The other one had drawers at the bottom, remember? This one has a power outlet over on the left-hand side. So if you want to remove those shelves and create like a charge point for like a stick vacuum or something like that, you got the perfect spot for it. And as long as they're talking removable shelves, why stop at just the pantry? They do it basically everywhere they can, including both of these big overhead cabinets. And above the sink, you can see where you have that awesome little utensil organizer space. Handy little sponge drawer below. The drawer seems to be sponge worthy. But you might notice there's an extra power outlet under that big open cavity under the sink. That's because that is all prepped if you want to add a little RV dishwasher. That's what the power outlet's back there for. It's not impossible to add one if there's not a power outlet. It just makes it a lot easier if there is to, run it. I want to kind of do all those drawers, like the bottom drawer separately because it is so big and deep. The top drawer is the same as the one in the middle, but I also want to point out how all of our drawers our handy soft close, which is a nice thing. All of our countertops are also a solid surface. And this is where you have a couple countertop power outlets and your controller for the big XL vent fan above our heads here. Now, again, making sure that you don't have to get on your hands and knees and reach armpit deep to get to something. They make it a little bit simpler and easier. And that's a big frickin' oven, dude. Some RVs have big ovens, and that's a big oven. Little baking sheet slot as well. Because if you're going to have a big oven, you have the capacity for baking. And that means that you may want some baking sheets. So they thought of that, and they solved for that. They gave you a solution for it. Convection microwave oven, more adjustable shelving, more pocket-screwed cabinetry up top here. It just never stops. Now, we've done all this looking and talking. I haven't really acknowledged the gigantic jumbotron of a Brinkley-tainment system that we have going on here. And to kind of give you a little simulation, like if you're, you're sitting here, holy cow, man. Hold on, it's going to blow you away. The sound system in this also is insane. It's also, it has like 4 zones. So you can listen to separate things in your sound system in the living room, separate from the garage, separate from outside. The living room and garage also have some serious subwoofer action going on. I have more than once blown my eardrums out, basically, listening to some music way too stupidly loud in one of these, just because it feels better when it's louder. Am I right? Like, anybody, who's listened to some loud rock and roll or something, it just sounds better when it's louder. Easy to miss, though. Hidden storage here up in the bathroom mirror. The mirror is the medicine cabinet, effectively. They maintain the solid surface counters here in the bathroom as well. Some very solid counter space. There's power outlets around the corner to the right where that towel is located, by the way. If you could, though, draw your eyes to the left side of the screen, because I want to give you a little look at you have quadruple drawers down to the floor here, and a removable shelf under the bathroom sink. Because why stop at the removable shelving now? I've only said that word 18 bajillion times so far. Why stop now, right? Now, this funky metallic sculpture that we're looking at, that's actually your toilet paper holder. And it's kind of one where you can have, one in the chamber and 2 on reserve. But the space around the toilet's absolutely excellent. You can see how, there's no elbow, hip, shoulder room. The wide body nature of this RV really helps in that regard. And in case you're kind of curious what this is over here, I would say under the sink you could remove the shelf and put a wastebasket, blah, blah, blah. But you don't even need to do that because it already has one included. Also, why stop with the removable shelving, he says once again. Just like the kitchen pantry, you've got a double depth, adjustable, just crazy amount of storage here. Sliding this out of the way, you can see that you do have the same XL vent fan going on here in the bathroom that you have in the kitchen, or at least I would slide it shut. That's all hardwood cabinetry. It is very heavy. The mechanical glide feature they have on that is excellent. The headroom in the shower is also excellent. I'm a little bit over 6 foot tall, standing there with big old thick soled shoes, and I'm having 0 issues in it. You may notice too as I slide in, out, down, and around how it is a one-piece fiberglass molded shower. And in case you're curious, it is prepped and ready for a shower seat, like one of those built-in fold-down seats. Some people like them. Some people think they're in the way. So Brinkley gives the option to pop one in however you would like to. And what's kind of crazy is the bedroom and bathroom of this do not at all feel like a toy hauler. I call these like a luxury crossover. It doesn't have that rugged toy hauler feel. Something I have not talked about at all. I am so sorry. Factory standard triple air conditioner on these. These are the GE profile air conditioning units. I think in total it's something like 45,000 BTUs of cooling. But every air unit also has its own heat system built in. So this RV literally has propane and electric heating, both in the living cabin and in the underbelly, because you have holding tank heat pads and forced air propane heating in the belly as well. It literally has 2 heating systems that can work simultaneously together in here. We are looking at the king bed. I'll get this lifted up. I'm pretty sure the base below it is a queen. I know in the Z, the base under it's a queen, and sometimes that can get a little difficult for me to keep track of everything. Also, this is just one video in one day to you. This is literally like video number somewhere between 40 to 50 in like 5 or 6 days that I've done. And with that kind of volume and intensity, it just, stuff does get blurry. Even doing this all day, every day professionally, it gets very, very blurry. Now, both sides of the bed have a couple really cool things. You have household outlets, you have USB Type A and USB-C outlets. You also have that little motion sensor down there that will, if I was closer to it, ow, my knee hurts, ow. That white bar right there is another one of those like lightsaber glow lights that is an indirect light. It faces downward so that you can see what you're doing at night without ever getting blasted directly in the eyeballs with a wicked bright light here. And I like that little kind of corner space next to the big vertical either dresser and or washer dryer prep area. These stools also are something that maybe you bust out for guests. You could also use these out in the garage. The garage system includes a multi-height adjustable table. And what's kind of cool about that? It could be a dining table. It could be like a coffee table. You could take it out on the patio and set it between a couple comfy chairs. It can raise up to desk height. It even has a bar top height setting, and those stools that we just looked at are absolutely perfect for that. Now this window's a little bit, it's a smart TV, by the way. I just squirrel. This window does open for airflow. This is kind of like a fire escape window that tilts open. You've got the day shade off of one side. You've got the night shade off the other. Now, there is actually a magnet class. Anytime you see the day-night shades, let me see if I can try to demo this here. They actually, I don't think that really displayed, but anyway, they magnet grab together. So if you want to slide them around, you can. But you can fully nightshade or fully day shade, whichever you would prefer. You don't have to do one or the other. In case you're curious, you see this picture in all the Brinkley videos. These are the 5 founders right here. That's actually kind of symbolized in their logo, the 5 mountaintop logo that you have on the front of every Brinkley. 5 of them, 5 peaks, 5 pillars. There you go. Now you know. Speaking of that photo, use that as a size reference so you can see what kind of little jewelry drawer space you have in there. And figure, before we step out into the garage area, which is kind of outside, we'll take a look at it here in road mode. Cool thing with Brinkley bed slides, they are engineered from the factory level so that if you're at a travel stop, you can lay down and take an overnight snooze in those. Yeah, you can snooze those. Oh, I'm so tired. Again, to you, this is just another video. To me, this is like, I don't even know how many I've done. Like I said, I've done a lot, rapid fire, and it's a lot of talking, and I think I'm about to lose my voice. I'm a little froggier than normal, but hey, let's keep hopping on over here. Oh, by the way, yeah, the back of the nightshade actually also has a radiant foil backer to help reflect more sunlight. So if you're in crazy hot sun country, you can. And also, you might notice how some slide outs in the RV industry, they're not flat on top, they're tilted like this. That's because it's supposed to be tilted. One, it's a floor flush slide, so it's not completely rectangular. Secondly, that provides rain runoff so that you don't have other problems. Now, here's the thing. With the slides closed, you can get to the bedroom and bathroom, you can get to the garage, but with all the other stuff, you can't really get around this sucker. It just gets a little bit too tight there. It comes close, you can't do it. Now, if you can open up those quadruple stable steps to get inside the RV, you have the space to deploy this slide. You can get to the fridge, you can get to your dining, you can use that, but you do have to open a slide to do that. It's something that you want to plan ahead for it. If you appreciate that info, hit that subscribe button. Let's keep on keeping on here. Crazy how much everything opens up when you pop the slides. Wait a minute. There's a whole bunch of storage in the island I forgot to showcase earlier. Holy crap. Hold on, let me walk around the other side of this. The fake fruit doesn't taste good, which kind of reminds me that Dove chocolate tastes a lot better than Dove soap. But hey, either way. I haven't also mentioned all of our drawers. They're all dovetail constructed. You can see how they actually kind of link together. And if I extend this out a little bit further here with my foot, because I'm trying to lean back to give you the best view since I don't use wide angle lensing here. You can see you've got a Sir Mix-a-Lot double up trash can space here. But if we pop the rest of this open, You see, we've got things like a completely like segmented silverware drawer, which we already saw a segmented utensil drawer drop down from above the sink. This over here is, you know, for your handy little cleanups. This is your little paper towel kind of dowel. Yeah, paper towel dowel. There you go. Has that always rhymed? And I literally just now became aware of it? Yeah, okay, I'm stupid. Then you got this guy. You got your handy little cutting board right here. And when you're done cutting up your veggies, you can just scrape the garbage that you don't want down the hole to drop down into the garbage can. Or you can take this sucker out and you can swing it around, throw it at a gas station murder hobo. I don't care. You can do whatever you want, but you get the idea. You got a lot of cool multi-function space here. Also, easy reach outlets if you want to set up like a whole griddle station going on up here. Set up like a waffle maker and make a killer breakfast. If you do that, the only thing is you got to call me. Because the thing is, I like waffles. Anyway, I don't know why I felt the need to share that. Everybody likes waffles. Everybody loves ramen. Another size reference on that cutting board for you there over the sink, just to give you a little bit of a reference point there. Wait a minute. Did I show you both of the drop-down drawers? I am so sorry. I mean, at least we're catching this stuff, I guess. Apologies. A little more disjointed than normal. You've got your segmented drawer on the right, the drop-down drawer, for your utensils. Then like a magnetic knife holder drawer thing on the left there. Now, you will notice when you come into the garage, if you see this in person, you actually have like a 1-inch step down. The garage floor substructure and the main living room cavity flooring, they have a little bit different composition. If you want to really see more of that in detail, check out my Model G video on the factory tour, Model G factory tour video, to see how exactly they're constructed. This is the, you know what, everybody and their brother has a Happy Jack bed system lift. To do this full demo takes about like 30 minutes to seriously put it all up, down, in, around, all the things that I need to do with it. And there's people outside who are kind of waiting to see this. They said, hey, take the time you need, but I feel guilty. So I'm going to clip along. The one thing I do want to mention is a cool thing Brinkley's done is that if you want to drop just the right or just the left bench, you can. The two bottom sofa bench things don't have to drop down together. And that's something that is one of those extra little details they're putting in. Also, look at the lighting that almost outlines that rear Three Seasons patio door. I love the fact that they do that, because one of the tricks with a lot of RV garages is they lack a lot of lighting, especially under the overhead beds. And that could be very problematic. The RV does, again, include a floating table that would normally slot here. If you watch any of my other Model G videos, you'll get a full, easy look at that. Plus, you also have the little cargo storage compartment down here in the dovetail. The Three Seasons doors in the way of that a little bit. Let me see if I can pop that out of the way for you. There you go. Now, depending on the size of your helmets, and if you get them fitted in there properly, I've actually seen people successfully store helmets down there. But helmets, tools, heck, depending on how you use this back room, toys, I've definitely seen this be a kid's room before. That could absolutely be a toy chest. Now, flip it around the other direction, using that to give you a point of view. I want to kind of point out the tie-down system they're using here. It's basically, it's got all these like little dime-sized little hookups you have, and you have some of those under each of your side benches as well. What's nice about that is you don't have to fight for tie-down space now. You could have a couple big bikes, you could have a couple small things. Again, you could use this as not a toy hauler, like the actual majority of people who buy a Model G do. The majority of people buy this, quote, toy hauler to use it as not a toy hauler, because it just, I think it speaks to a different type of potential owner, buyer, and or user. Now, you've got the loft above there, but what's really cool about that, you'll see that this differs a little bit from most lofts. Most lofts have the exact same mattress that we're looking at here, which means they have about 2 feet of the upper loft that doesn't have a mattress. Well, Brinkley used that for shower space in the headroom, and in case you're curious, that TV can drop down. Now, thing with this TV, when it drops down, it kind of fights for space with the bathroom door. So you need to have the bathroom door closed when you drop the TV down. Otherwise, the TV basically faces toward the ceiling, which is not the most useful thing. The thing is, though, this is really I really probably should have started you back here, because this is kind of the whole signature calling card of this floor plan. This is what differentiates the 3950 from the 3970 Brinkley Model G. This is a full, true two-bathroom. It's probably one of the best two baths I've seen. So the space around the toilet, not terrible. I wasn't mad at it. Still solid surface countertops back here in the, quote, garage space. It doesn't even feel right to refer to this as a garage space, just with the way that I know more people use this thing. Also, some dedicated linen space in here because we have a full shower. You're going to want a place to put towels. So they solve for that. And that is a medicine cabinet that you're seeing my stupid reflection ducking under the TV on. And it's a full second shower that is also a one-piece full fiberglass molded enclosure with that cool floor drain right there. But here's what's brilliant. Most full two-bathroom fifth-wheel toy haulers, the ceiling in the shower stops where the main ceiling would be located. This one does not have that deficiency. If you notice, it actually goes all the way up to the ceiling. You've got a window there, kind of acting like a light, and then you have another of those big XL Max Air vent fans, so that when you are creating a big old steamy shower in here, you can actually ventilate all of that. And to give you just a better reference point for how big of a difference this makes, I figure I'd jump right in the shower and show you. But real quick also, I don't know that I actually showed you up inside that. I just kind of showed you that there is cabinetry. But when I step in here, if this didn't go all the way to the ceiling, I wouldn't be able to use the shower. Not comfortably, not easily. It barely comes over my ears. I'm a little taller than the average bear, but dude, I ain't Andre the Giant. You know, if I wouldn't fit in this, presumably the vast majority of adults wouldn't. Now, the elbow room in this is a little bit tight. It's definitely going to still be better for, kids and or guests. But again, if you have like a special needs kid, if you have tall kids that are playing basketball and volleyball, if you need a literal mother-in-law, father-in-law suite, this gives everybody their own full independent private spaces. It's not a stretch to call this a true two-bedroom RV, really. Now, if you got a Ford Ranger, you should not be towing this. You see the people with the Rangers towing things. Ford Ranger, tows everything. But if you got the Ford freaking Ranger, well, you should also still not be towing this, because the Ford freaking Ranger was engineered with limitless payload and towing capacity. And if you apply even 2% of the accelerator on the Ford freaking Ranger, you would literally rip the chassis out from under this thing. But on a more serious note, dually. You want a dually on this. You're in diesel dually country. There's really not a whole lot of debate to that, I think. You look at the weight, the size, the hitch weight, and all that. That's where you're at. So, ladder to get us up to the roof. I'll give you a peek at that later. Also, your steps for the rear patio are factory standard on here, and a powered 50 amp cord reel, so you don't have to physically lug that sucker and wind it up and stuff it into something, I asked my wife, hey, where should I stick the 50 amp cord? She told me where I could stick it, and I would not recommend necessarily. These slide out trays, by the way, they are 800 pound rated. Now that's a tankless on-demand water heater, so you can have the kitchen pumping out hot water in both showers, and it'll still basically keep up for you. Our docking station here, as is always, they got a cool demo mode going on this. See the little blinking lights right there, kind of indicating for us the status of the gate valves. They've just got that in demo mode currently. They also have a flip down bulkhead wall cutoff. You see it kind of locked into the up position right now, so you can customize how your storage space kind of looks here. As we wrap around the nose of this thing, we've got our flex fuel, or flex power, I guess you'd call it, generator. Now, I call it a flex fuel because it can use either the gasoline from the onboard holding tank or the propane from your onboard tanks. And it can even flip the power source on the fly. So if you're running low on one, or you just want to conserve the other, whatever the case may be, you can make it use whatever you want. Our lower deck slides, those are rack and pinion. Upper deck slide is a slim rack system. And the nose cap they put on these, it just looks bad to the bone, man. This thing looks like an absolute Decepticon right here. Don't get me wrong. I'm Team Autobot, certainly. But other than Optimus Prime and maybe Bumblebee, the Decepticons generally feel a lot cooler. And this, I don't mind that this has that cooler look. Now that hitch box up there, They are one of the only manufacturers that can even accept that specifically without compromising frame integrity, because that Gen Y hitch, it absolutely smooths out the ride and handling experience, but it does transfer more stress to the chassis. So they accounted for that, and from the ground up, they built this with a heavier duty chassis. The cool thing is that it is like you can get a factory fifth wheel connection or gooseneck, whichever one kind of works for you. Just to kind of complete the front end visual of this right here, we have yet another of these storage trays, because this is not a drop frame, so they add a second layer of storage, which I really like. Now look up in here. This is not just for general display purposes. I want to point out the cleanliness of your service access panel areas. If you watch my factory video tours, I've done a couple of Model Z, Model G now. The people clean as they work. It's not like well, first of all, they literally have 8 people on staff in each factory who do nothing but clean all day, because if they can keep the dust and the particulate knocked down, then it doesn't get under the decals, it doesn't get into everything, and you just get a better product as a result. But they just have that kind of pride, you know, about their factory, about their construction, and even inside of what would normally be referred to as the rat's nest areas, they still keep that clean. Also, this is the standard look. And there have been people since day one, when the first Model G 3500 video came out that I put out there, people have said, are they going to offer full paint? Well, yeah, the thing is, it's even more than just paint. Well, they are offering 2 paint packages. Now, the front end of, as soon as you see the front end of it, you know, like, yeah, that's obviously a paint package. You look back here, though, and you're like, is that a partial paint? No, it is still a full paint. It's just, it's so funny. Very often, when you get a paint package, they won't use a white paint, but there's a lot of benefits to it. It doesn't tend to fade and chalk like a lot of other things. It will stay looking amazing long term. But look how they're even running it along the slide sides to give you a full continuous look here. But if you really want the whole exterior to kind of transform and change, they are also offering a silver paint palette right here. The front end of it basically looks the same, but instead of white, you swap in silver. And it looks absolutely awesome. I love the look of this. The thing is, it's more than just paint that you're getting here. Before the paint's even applied, the painted units actually get an enhanced fiberglass, even above and beyond the basic, the standard Model Gs. It's a thicker fiberglass. It literally cannot even come on a roll. It comes on one big sheet, one big table. A lot of your big high-end diesel pushers, that's the same kind of material they use effectively. It's like the $330,000 diesel pushers, that's the skin that's on this thing. It goes through the paint process, but they actually then they where you have like the like silver to black striping or something like that. Normally, if you feel a towable RV paint package, you can actually feel the little bumps. They actually go through there and buff all that down, and then they apply 50% more clear coat on this than pretty much anybody else who offers a paint package. Then they also provide enhanced graphics up on the nose, just to give it that crazy stealth bomber fighter look on this thing. And I think it looks absolutely awesome. Now, it's a darker exterior, but I saw a Keystone Cougar, who normally has a stark white exterior skin, offer a black paint package. They did some weather testing, and on that Cougar, they found out that it was only, at most, 2 degrees warmer inside in the painted unit versus the non-painted unit. And this isn't even quite as dark. So I cannot imagine, especially with that triple air system and the whole weather package they have in this, it's going to have any significant impact on the actual livability. I could see it being hotter to the touch, but not actually hotter on the interior. But back over here to our friend the 39s. So, oh, by the way, the paint, yeah, that stuff's available on all Model Gs, not like just this one. Any Model G can have the base look like we're looking at today, or the 2 paint options. I realized that I forgot to take a look at that for you. The 12-volt fridge freezer drawer that's also under lock and key. But notice how this door is kind of dancing in the breeze. Like, it's windy enough. I actually had to take on my wind canceling microphone. The door's like not moving. Like, yeah, it wiggles, but it's not really going anywhere. And it really won't. That friction hinge on that thing works really, really well. Now, it's interesting. When we were inside the RV, did you overtly notice where they sometimes put little graphics over the windows? I don't. Like, when I'm inside this thing, that doesn't even consciously register to me. They do it on the outside, but they're kind of see-through, so you don't really lose any sort of visual impact on the inside of the RV. And it gives it such a look. I don't think you got to look real hard in the industry to see where Brinkley's look has been very influential, we could say. I have seen several RVs borderline just going, hey, I like your graphics package, copy-paste. Anyway. Of course, with this size, you are a triaxle. We got those Cooper H-rated tires here. TPMS standard, but it goes above and beyond that. We have Dexter suspension package on this, but also a whole additional spring assist system. Let me see if I can give you a look at that. So climbing under the rig here, first of all, the underbelly enclosed, forced air heated, radiant barrier, holding tank heaters, all those 0 to 100 degree weather things. I'm going to zoom you in here. So this is the back of that Dexter system that we were just looking at to give you some references. When I go to the left here, all 3 axles have these extra little springs, and what these are going to do is to help keep the RV from jumping, bumping, and body rolling, and keeping this thing tracking behind you the way it's supposed to. But in addition, this is outfitted with Dexter's tow assist system. If you're not familiar with that, it is 2 things. It is both anti-lock braking and electronic anti-sway. Because this thing, it's the USS Battleship Brinkley behind you, and I think it's a good idea to have all the control you can have of this thing all the time, especially in a sort of panic situation. Now, if you are photosensitive viewers, we're about to be looking at something that's blinking quite a bit. I don't know that it will necessarily be triggering, but I want to point this out. The blue box on the front was basically a tester box, and what it's kind of doing here is simulating the RV being hooked up to a vehicle. Like, you notice, we suddenly have our left blinker, right blinker. We're going to get to see brake lights. We're also going to get to see reverse lighting on this. This is a new lighting system that they're currently dialed in, and I don't have 100% confirmation of it, but it does sound like that's what all the Model Gs are going to go to, and I love that. That has such a cool kind of space age futuristic look to it that is also very, very functional. Now, the RV is also, for tow safety reasons and campsite security reasons, outfitted with both side view cameras as well as an in-motion rear view camera. That's just kind of hard to see because it's actually above the rear number 4 power patio awning. Another thing they're currently testing is an enhanced patio door. At the time I'm recording this, they're in the checking phase, making sure it works better. It's a 3-piece door that has a little bit more of a like residential just pass through the middle door, but they're not 100% sure they want to go with it yet. Like, they're actually going to go out and use it several times. They want to make sure that they can put it through some rain tests, and that's one of the things I like about Brinkley RVs. They actually test their stuff before it goes out to market, and a couple times, yeah, they've had to circle back and fix up this or that, but they've done it. They've really absolutely taken care of people as they've needed to. The folks that have joined their RV family, they've taken care of them. Dual 30 gallon fuel cells. Also an air pump on board with a max PSI of 135, because these are bigger tires. You know, some of the air pumps that you find on some RVs, they're not up to snuff. So they put a more powerful air pump on this so that, God forbid, you need to inflate the RV's tires or anything else, including pool toys, you know, you can do that. Now, here's one of the cool things. You can walk all over their slide roofing. One of the first things I want to point out is where I'm standing. I'm on the slide roof because this has a fully walkable slide roof, because this slide roof is intended to be the transition step from the ladder up to your primary roof. So making that somewhat kind of dangerous transition right there is now much, much safer. And little details like that, I love that. As a guy who's climbed up and down a lot of ladders, anything that keeps me a little bit safer as I get older and fatter and more tired and more out of breath as I get up here at elevation, I'm all for it. So back it up a little bit. I'm basically standing above the bedroom slide right now. I'm above your bed. I can see you when you're sleeping. I know when you're awake because I'm looking through the skylight. So what you couldn't see was the third front air conditioner. You can see the back too. These are the GE profile air conditioners. Again, what I love about these is they actually have the heat pump system built right onto them. And solar. I wanted to showcase this for you. 800 watts of solar, factory standard on every single Model G. You know, you also have a ton of roof space. If you wanted to go nuts on this and create a total solar roof, you absolutely could. And I gotta say, they have some of the nicest facilities and some of the nicest factory grounds I think I have ever seen. And at this point, I haven't seen them all, but man, I've seen a lot. So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. As always, take a look at the links in the video description. You'll find one there to double check general MSRP and availability. Remember, we offer a discounted sale price. In the instance of Brinkley's policies, we're not able to publish that, but also, yeah, I'll look up, like, I'll leave you the video to the 3950, which is actually literally standing right behind me. The Model G factory tour, where you can see this thing come together, or any of the other, maybe all the Brinkleys that I've recorded, I don't know. That way, if you like what you see, you can go through the family and find the floor plan that works best for you, even now including travel trailers, which they have only had for a shorter time. So when you're ready, we're ready. Until then, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.